Hey, you're listening to Scam Me, the podcast that breaks down online safety and scams without the boring bits. We're here thanks to Inclusive Change at Work CIC, Avon and Somerset PCC, and Culture Gem. Let's get into it.
Hey, I'm James Rogers, here with my friends,
I'm Heidi.
And Tom.
and we're here to talk about some misinformation on the internet. Tom, I was wondering, when's one point in your life where you've seen or experienced misinformation on the internet?
That is a very good question, James. And I don't exactly have a correct answer for you there because there's misinformation everywhere online. And you can't really go anywhere on the internet without having some form of misinformation.
Fair enough, Heidi.
One of the most funniest misinformation. My mum came over to me and she told me that Emma Watson was pregnant with triplets. And I googled it and I found a single news article that said that she was, and the rest that was saying she wasn't. And I was like, Mum, I don't think so.
Funnily enough, my story involves me being the moron because it was April Fool's Day and I saw a news article for Tom Holland being casted as the new Doctor Who. And I fully believed it. And I was outraged because I did not believe Tom Holland would make a good Doctor Who. But I suppose it just shows how quick we are to, believe things online, right?
Very good.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when you're scrolling through things, you don't really bother to fact check it a lot of the time.
Like I scroll through TikTok or YouTube Shorts a lot, and things on there I just believe
Yeah.
without checking. So
I mean, especially because a lot of them use it as advertising. So these things that would genuinely be real, they use the social media as their way to get out this information. So when you see it, you don't think twice about it. You just think, oh, it's just the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when other people see it and it's particularly interesting, they start to spread posts about it, and it becomes a whole thing. I suppose it's a scale model of how rumors work in a school environment. Someone says something, it gets ballooned out of proportion, and suddenly you got the biggest rumor ever.
Yeah.
I suppose I guess it's sort of similar to how I guess in social media and schools are quite alike in that respect, right? It's just a bunch of
guess.
people who don't know any better, right?
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's encouraged a lot as well, like stuff like April Fools,
Oh,
where they're
God, yeah.
putting out fake information deliberately. As much as that is it kind of brings awareness to the fact that some of the stuff you might see is not real, but it also highlights the fact that how easy it is for people to fool by all of this, and yeah.
So usually I'd say, specifically for, older people or people less versed in technology, but,
Yes.
obviously I was tricked by Tom Holland, so I guess it really does affect everybody.
A lot of misinformation is purposeful. Like people want to spread the misinformation, and it's not just people who don't know better. It's people who are trying to spread lies and
Yeah.
hoaxes.
So they're all specially made to fool everyone. They're not things that would have like banners at the bottom saying this is not real. They want you to believe that it's real.
Yeah, a lot of it's specifically crafted to be believable, so it's not my fault I was tricked, basically. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So it's definitely difficult because we've grown up with it.
Oh, very true.
For the adults who haven't grown up with it, it's almost more difficult for them because they don't have this mentality of, oh, it's online, it could not be real. Like we heavily taught through schools, all these lessons where you get taught about the internet. I think sometimes they're targeted towards the wrong people because we've grown up with it and we always have these lessons since a young age. We kind of know that these things could not be real. But for the older audiences, then this is something that's relatively new to them, so which is why they're more of a target, I suppose.
Absolutely. It also makes it hard to know where to go for the right sources. I mean, obviously, the obvious choice is to go to trusted news sources like the BBC, I guess. But, when you think back to COVID, a lot of that was just fear-mongering to make people tune in.
Hey, you're listening to Scam Me, the podcast that breaks down online safety and scams without the boring bits.
Hey, let's be honest. Compliance training is usually awful. But Culture Gem flips the script. It's the world's first fully inclusive, accessible training platform with 8 learning styles, colour customization, and even an escape room video game. And their phishing simulator? You build the scam. It sticks better that way. Smarter training, better retention, and it doesn't cost the earth. Try it free at culturegem.co.uk.
So realistically, there's nowhere you can trust on the internet. And you have to do a lot of digging yourself to fact check anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of things online now, like AI, like
Oh,
scrape the web to find new information or to find information that you ask for. So if you ask ChatGPT for something, it's just going to be scraping the web for information that could be wrong.
You brought up AI. That's a very big point. Yeah, I mean, as it scrapes more and more information, a lot of more of the internet becomes AI. And when you go onto Google Images now, you can see a lot, like half of the images that come up are AI generated. And then when you ask it to generate an image, it now grates through AI generated images. Slowly, the internet's sort of just going to collapse in on itself because it's just going to be filled with slop. For lack of a
AI
better term.
AI
Yeah.
slop.
Call that the slop shop.
AI is definitely on the rise for everything.
Yeah. That could be the reason why the internet falls, to be fair. That could be how everybody takes their step back, because whilst everyone's doom and gloom about AI, it could simply cause itself to, implode per se. And then we'd have to take a step back and focus on other things,
It's useful for being effective and doing work and whatnot, but people don't want to like be with AI. They want to be with people.
Yeah,
Yes. And
definitely.
you can't get that same social interaction.
But well, you never know because like Snapchat My AI, their responses are like particularly programmed sometimes to be like real people. I think that's a bit creepy, but like they're getting clever enough to kind of understand how other people would respond and try and mimic that, which is
I guess linking back to misinformation, it's not only, sites and sources that are, misinformed, but it's going to be soon enough actual people that we don't know whether they're real or not.
yeah.
There could be fake celebrities that people worship that just don't actually exist.
I mean that is a thing now, but it's not great. Like fake AI Instagram
Like
profiles.
Hatsune Miku.
Hold on,
Yeah,
elaborate on that.
you can have them speak in like the voices of like celebrities and stuff.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's terrible because you could have them say something that's like effective for other people, like something cancelable or something wrong, and they won't be able to kind of prove whether they did or didn't say that.
Yeah.
Relating to this, I was scrolling the other day, as you do, and there was this video talking about how there was a deep fake profile on TikTok of Jenna Ortega, the actress.
Oh yeah.
Who played Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
And it was just her doing random things like dancing with Leonardo DiCaprio, which was also deep faked. And everyone, like, there was people online going, "Oh my God, Jenna Ortega's dating Leonardo DiCaprio? This is crazy." But that's just an example of AI misinformation.
Yeah.
But it was obviously not real, so.
It makes you wonder how many people, because bots exist, don't they? They're constantly, for lack of a better term, reproducing. They're copying themselves. And soon enough, they're gonna be overwhelmed. There's gonna be a higher ratio of robots to people online, and that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. And people make use of that in bad ways.
Oh yes, I mean, especially with people going on the internet at younger and younger ages, they're obviously going to be more and more easy to manipulate.
And they almost never saw the real world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like they grow up and you have children as young as like 2 or 3 who are on YouTube, and although it may be YouTube Kids, there's like stuff that still gets passed, and
Oh
all
God,
these things are not, and also like Americanizing everything because lots of the stuff they'll watch is American. I know I'm guilty of it as well, and lots of the stuff that I'll say might be like kind of American terms, but it's just social media and like all of this can cause misinformation for these young children because they've never known any better.
Like, because we are 17 now, so we didn't. Well, we were born in the generation where it was on the uprise, but it wasn't risen yet when we were children. But now children are in that world already.
Yeah, so Gen Z grew up with the internet, learning how to adapt and deal with all the fake stuff online.
We had a bit of a non-technology childhood to start off with.
Yeah.
And we were kind of aware of that. Like my mum didn't let us watch TV, but she let us watch TBB's bedtime stories before bed. That was it. That was all the TV we'd have. We didn't have iPads and stuff. We'd play with toys and stuff. Yeah.
But now with the, I suppose, commercialization of our world, I mean, if you were to try and do that to the people nowadays, there would be no way to get that information. It's not like newspapers are still like widely respected.
And even them, they have
Oh, yeah.
misinformation.
Yeah, because, you know, the fact checking is sloppy now because
Yeah.
there's just so many news sources.
If it makes news, then they're willing to use whatever stories they can pluck out of thin air.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, in interviews, they'll, you know, chop down people's words to make them say, you know, things that they didn't. We really just live in a scary place now, don't we?
It is.
Just need to be safe online.
Multiple sources. I think that's a good one to do. Check.
Yeah.
See if it's said other places.
And I suppose it really depends what you're actually searching for, right? I mean, if you're searching for news about the world, then you'll want to check like I don't want to say like you don't want to check like Wikipedia, I suppose, but you want to see what's happening currently as well as what's happened in the past. You don't want to just take it at face value.
I think if you want to know stuff from about the world, then ask the people of the world. I think that's a nice way to connect people, but also to get information about what's going on in other places, like pen pals and stuff. It's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we still had that, then that's getting that information with making a connection, making information, and it'll be information that's first hand, like their specific experiences. And I think that'll be a nice way to get rid of that misinformation and build connections as well.
And what a lovely note to end this little podcast on. We've been James,
Tom.
Heidi.
and thank you for listening.
That's a wrap on this episode of Scam Me. Brought to you by Project Sandbox from Inclusive Change at Work CIC, funded by Avon and Somerset Police and Crime Commissioner, supported by South Gloss Disability Equality Network, and sponsored by Culture Gem. Catch you next time, and stay safe out there.